Good evening. Usually I say that we're here to do one thing, and that's to obsess about Napoleon, and that this is the Napoleon memoirs. But I have to talk about something tonight. It's very difficult to talk about, but I'm going to do it. Okay? So, as I have mentioned a few times before, I have been finagled into perpetual house arrest. And I would explain to you how this was done to me. Okay? Now remember, I'm a charity artist who does nothing but give and tell the truth. And I have to tell the truth. It's who I am. For me to not tell the truth is to completely betray myself. Okay? So if you want to talk about discrimination, forcing me to become a liar is discriminating against me as a truthful person. That's who I am. Number one. Number two, August 2019. I had many government type cars, secret society type cars, swirling around my house, sending me the message that I was not safe in Watermill, New York, that they are out to get me. Okay, it was very clear because when all the government cars come to your house the weekend of a Trump fundraiser, and that is the president of the country, they're saying we can kill you and we can get away with it because they're the government. What did I do? I covered my house in live cameras, okay? And every time they come back to my house, they're so careful to not appear on those cameras. But they've come to my house many times. So they're very aware of how they can get exposed. And they know I will not hesitate to put the footage up of their license plates, of anything I can find out about these people who are after me. Okay, that's what happened. So I basically started to stay home, and I thought, oh, this is so interesting because Napoleon was also finagled into house arrest. He was not a criminal. He did nothing wrong. He was the sovereign leader of France, and France wanted him to be their leader. He actually did care about people. And this group that operates through secret societies that has a ton to do with crime and banking, okay, out of England, this group finagles people like me and Napoleon into house arrest because they cannot fight us directly. They know that they have to hide who they are. And if people could find out about me and my project, they would like it. And many have found out about it. But they know that between me and certain City of London people are going to be very interested in what I do. So they have to find all of these sneaky ways to keep someone like me down. Okay, as I said recently, that fall, after I started to stay home because I understood that the enemy within, which is present in the U.S. government, was threatening to kill me. So I stayed home. I looked into astrology. I saw that if I were right, that the City of London people are astrologers, and I was sure of it by then, they're going to launch something big. January 2020. I've already explained that there was a big transit that was all about death, transformation of structures, and the sun. It was going to be big, famous, okay? So I was seeing all that fall. Either they're going to launch something huge or astrology's not real. I was seeing that whole fall. We all know what happened early 2020, okay? Something involving death, restriction, transformation, and fame just so happened to appear right on schedule on that transit, January 12th, 2020. That was the day of that transit, okay? So the fact that all of those things coincided with a transit that are so hand in glove with that is a very interesting detail. Okay, I'm a little aggressive, but now let's take a time machine back to 2018, okay? That was 2019. 2018, I heard the story of a young man who said that he had seen all of these big-time politicians around Hillary Clinton recruiting young people for a slave cult. That word slave keeps coming up. Okay. So I knew that they were going to try to dismiss it and say it was crazy and do all those things that they always do to anyone telling the truth. They're called crazy. So I said, well, they're going to try and say that I'm crazy. So I had a polygraph done by the most credible polygraph person I could find in the world. And I sent this guy to this young man's house. And the polygraph person couldn't even say the names right, because they are actually difficult names. But I won't say them right now. But you can find them easily on the internet. Anyway, so U.S. government rolled up and said, oh, hi, look what I just did for you. I just gave you all of this press all over controlled opposition media. Oh, see, and they're talking about you in such a nice way. Oh, and would you like to have a GoFundMe? Mm-hmm. And she let me know she was from the government. Okay, I knew exactly who I was dealing with. And this person changes their aliases all the time and comes back. Okay, she thinks I don't know when she does that, but she has a very fixed personality. Anyway, okay, so I didn't take the GoFundMe. I said, oh, very interesting. This person in the government can turn on and off the media at will for me. How interesting. Isn't that an interesting detail? Good to know, right? That's what I learned in 2018. That this person in the government decides whether I get press. Okay, what did that teach me? That taught me that everybody's in on it except for me. That's what that taught me. Okay, so that's how much credibility I had in the media. And there's a very complicated story. I'm going to leave it out right now. But this whole thing involves media. Anyway. Then I won't let her be my handler. I see very well she wants to be the one who decides what I post and don't post. I know exactly what I'm dealing with. And then I kind of wiggle away, go on with my life. Next thing, my Wikipedia's down. Next thing, my numbers are disappearing. Next thing, I'm invisible. Nobody can see me anymore. Invisible project. Magical invisible project. Okay, so the government did that. And it wasn't the government. It was the enemy within in the government. This is a very specific type of person. And if I think a lot of the people in the government understood what she's doing in there, they wouldn't want her in the government. And what she is doing is treason. Every day of the week, treason. She is operating against this country. And one of the things that she did, and this is very interesting, she put my name in a book about civil war in the United States, pro-Trump. Okay, so she was finagling me into like supporting Trump and civil war in the United States. And, oh, and I could get so much press and money if I could just be a civil war Trump booster. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I would support Trump and civil war in the United States. And she put me into a book. So that book exists. That was her twisting my arm move. So, oh, you could be in books or you could be, or else, right? This is sick. So I saw very clearly that they almost wanted to turn me into like an Adolf Hitler. Instead of being a charity art project person, obsessed with Napoleon. I am obsessed with Napoleon. He's the greatest. But anyway, yes, I'm quirky. They didn't want me to be what I am. They wanted me to play this role to destroy my country. And that is somebody in the U.S. government. This is unacceptable, unbelievably unacceptable. Unacceptable, beyond unacceptable, okay? Okay, anyway, so then I become invisible because this enemy within treason person, who still doesn't leave me alone, turned off the media for me. And and what she always talking about? She's always talking about her religion, okay? They pretend to be religions they are not, to disgrace those religions. And she was hoping that I would believe her, that she was the religion she was pretending to be, but I know very well what her real religion is. Get my point? She was pretending to be of a religion that she would have really liked me to complain about. Does that make sense to you? I've had people for years provoking me about this religion. Okay? So they're dying for me to spew all this hatred about this religion, and then they give me every reason to do it because they dress up in that religion. This is big news. This is a big deal. Somehow they think I would like destroy my credibility if I ever say a bad word about this religion. Well, they're not of that religion. Okay? They are putting on a big show for me. I can't believe how angry I am right now, but I can tone it down. Anyway, so they all pretend to be of this religion, and then if I honestly told you what's happening to me, I would be insulting this religion. Wouldn't that be a horrible thing to scapegoat people? See, but I would do that if I talked honestly about what they're showing me. But the thing is, I know that they're putting on a huge act for me. This is what they do. I'm like betraying myself by not telling the truth about what's happening to me. But I understand that they're all acting. They create all these like lose-lose scenarios. Anyway, that's fine. Anyway, so now I understand that pretty much every single person in the media except for me is in on it. That's what I understand by 2018. By 2019, I've got government cars swirling around my house. Okay. You know, to be expected, I guess, because we're living under a dark occult theocracy. Dark occult theocracy. They tell you it's a certain religion, but it's a dark occult theocracy. And that whole religion thing is so they can get away with everything. And I'm sick of it. The religions they're all subverted. So if you love your religion, take a second look at it, because this dark occult group has infiltrated the religions. This dark occult left-hand path. Okay? Very dark spirits involved with what they're doing. Anyway, so 2020 comes around, and I don't trust the media one bit. I know the way they operate. I understand what a publicity campaign looks like. So they rolled out their big publicity campaign on the beginning of 2020. And then, oh, surprise, surprise, I have a neighbor who wants to bang pots every night when I do my memoirs. And I'm like, oh, cool. I have my own publicist right here in the neighborhood who's going to play his part to lend some sort of absurd reality to all this. And then I find out that the pot banging is being promoted on television, of course, because this person who cut my numbers off and blacklisted me. You see what I'm talking about? I thought maybe it had something to do with her, that I had pot banging in my house, at my house every night, just at the time when I do the memoirs, at 7 p.m., which is one of their most favorite numbers when they like to do their magic. So it was actually at a very nice time for dark occultists to do this every night at 7. And then the whole media, all the MSNBCs and stuff, were like, oh, why don't you bang pots during when Tanster does her memoirs? Oh, they left that part out. It just so happened to be the time when I do my memoirs. So the whole media is encouraging people to make noise to provide a cover for this guy to do it in my neighborhood. And then if you saw him, he literally had children around him to hide behind children. See, so it was really a cute, fun thing. And if I had expressed any aggravation, I don't like children. See, so it's always this like lose-lose thing. Okay, fine. So then, right, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world. Everybody's got to stay home. Okay, fine. And then there was the solution. Basically, you could be a riddled with disease murderer, or you could take the clean and perfect injection. That would be a magical passport to rejoining life. That's the option that the media gave. You know, everyone but me. I'll just say me. That's the option that the media gave me. I could be cut off from society, maybe carted off, or I could be magically clean and perfect. Dream come true. Invisible to viruses injection. Sounds like a good deal, right? But I don't trust the media. Guess why? Because they're little danger to my life right now. Because they are showing me that they are in cahoots with the people that swirl around my house and threaten my life. Okay? So I did a lot of research into this situation, and I found that when a young man went to court and he asked for some proof about this incredible killer virus, the Canadian government couldn't provide anything, nothing. So legally, it doesn't exist at all. I'm not going to get into it, okay? But the entire government of Canada, and this guy said they were like flying them in from the Queen about this, okay? They knew this was it, where there's no pretext under the pretext. It doesn't exist legally. And in science, yeah, you can actually prove things. Not everything is a figment of someone's imagination in the government. There are actually provable things. They can't prove it. Okay. And when I put that up, woo, Reuters ran in, Associated Press ran in, all our friends from the city of London ran in as quick as they could to go, don't look at that. Okay. So it's official. There's no pretext under the pretext. Patrick King of Canada, of Alberta, Canada, bless you, Patrick King, proved it. There's no legal reality behind any of this. Okay, fine. But let's this has been going on forever. Next, I have this horrible issue with my mother. It's terrible. It didn't work out. That's a whole other story. But I was estranged from her. And to my knowledge, she was very healthy. She was a woman in her 60s. And she's very high strung, sort of like me. And it's interesting. She always did watch too much TV. And TV is what killed her. So it's a sad story. My mother's way too attached to her TV. A lot of people too attached to their televisions. Anyway, so they scared her into taking that injection. And a very short time afterwards, she dropped dead of undetermined causes. Okay, undetermined causes. Blood clot maybe? Heart attack maybe? Who knows? Okay. It was so suspicious that the police even called in my aunt to find out what happened to this woman. I'm sure everybody knew her. My mother's a Spitfire. I'm sure they all knew her and wondered why she dropped dead a minute after taking this thing. They probably wondered themselves in Brazil. Okay, fine. Now I'm being intimidated at my house. I know that the only thing that stops them is those cameras. I know they would kill me in a heartbeat if they could get away with it. But because of those cameras, they don't really know how to get it done. So I have to stay with the cameras and I have to stay near literal firearms. And if I take firearms out of the house, it's not even legal. That is how the law is in New York. So I have people after me because I tell the truth. They are complete total criminals. They would get away with killing me. They would just say, "Oh, fentanyl or something." It must have been fentanyl. And then they have the media behind them, so they can kill anybody they want. And if I even had a gun on me, huge crime. You see how it works for me, my house arrest situation? And then if I want to go anywhere, see anybody, participate in life in any way, I better go get that magical, clean health injection that killed my mother. Okay? Now, we all have to ask ourselves how much this whole thing was about doing this to me. Because I am I should be getting an award for what I do. See what I'm saying? There should be parades to me right now. There should be 40-foot monuments to me right now. Right? And I am under house arrest just like they did to Napoleon. And I am very connected to Napoleon. And I don't know what they know, because I do think that they have something to do with demons. And I do think that I think I've been on the other side for quite some time also. I think we're old enemies, me and these demons. And they have new packages now. They got new packages, but it's the same old fallen angels probably. I can't really tell you, but I fight them day and night. So if anyone knows about them, I do. So we've been fighting this fight, I think for a long time. And I'm going to get even more candid, and I'm not going to read anything tonight. I just feel like I have to say all these things. But it's been really hard for me to deal with everything, obviously. I will tell you the truth. I mean, I've been realizing things about my spiritual reality throughout my life, and I'm like connected to Napoleon in a and we're like one person practically, and I have to do what he wants. Like, I can't not do what he wants. I'm so connected to him. I do all of these things because he wants me to do them, and I know that sounds crazy. He is alive. And I didn't even really care about the house arrest, because all I'm living for is Napoleon. And anyway, I can't even talk. It's just, I'm realizing that Napoleon is among the living. And I can't just be trapped like this. That's the truth. And all of you are keeping me under house arrest because you're letting them lie to you. And you're letting them do these things to us. Nothing they're saying is even close to true. It's horrible. You know, it's horrible that people just put up with anything. So please help me get out of house arrest. We're under house arrest because the enemy regime of me is in power. As long as they're in power, they're going to keep me under house arrest, and they're going to keep trying to kill me. And then I'll be gone. And you know, I think Napoleon is actually among the living. That's my whole problem now. I was happier then. You know, now I have to like deal with the world, and I don't even want to, because I hate it. Okay? I hate the world. I hate the way it is. It's a nightmare. Okay? None of this is acceptable to me. That's why I thought I'll just stay focused on Napoleon, do what he wants, and hopefully leave, because I hate it here. Okay? And if we want to have freedom and to not be told that we have to take injections that kill people a certain percentage of the time, and you know, we all know that the deaths are being underreported. These are not negotiable points, I hope. And people have to lose their job. And so basically this cult puts themselves between like everything we need. So if you need food, they're going to stand in the way and say, well, we're going to make the rules. Oh, you want to get on a plane? Well, we're going to make the rules. Oh, you want to see a concert? Well, we're going to make the rules. This is what this cult does. Okay? They put themselves in the middle of everything you want. And if you like it that way, if you want these enemy within people, okay, who only fight for themselves and their selfish interests, they will always suit themselves. They will never do anything for us. If they can steal it, they will steal it, okay? There's something going on here. It is spiritual. Okay? Please understand that we must move on, because they're never going to stop with these ridiculous stories. And because they did blacklist me, There's no question they blacklisted me from the media. They have proven beyond a shadow of a reasonable doubt that all media is compromised. If they are going through all of this effort to deal with this one person, me, then the entire media is compromised. So everything you heard from them, you're going to have to research it on yourself and realize it's all them. Okay. Thank you so much. That's what I had to say tonight. I have to take an injection that 99% killed my mother if I want to go rejoin the world. Can you imagine the situation they're putting me in? That is sadistic, malicious, the intentional infliction of emotional distress. That's harassment. That's intimidation. That is illegal in every single possible way. And I can trace this right back to the person who sets the price on gold every day. Okay? And he has all the money. And I have all the lawsuits against him. Because what he has done to me is, you fill in the word. Okay? Thank you for listening. I hope you have a good evening.